It's an inconvenient fact of poi that we have to spend an enormous amount of time figuring out how to get our hands to move in concert with each other. And it's an even more inconvenient fact that we also have to learn how to get our hands to do separate things at the same time in order to do things like transitions or even specific tricks, depending upon what they happen to be. So, how can you develop that hand independence? I'm so glad you asked. We're diving in this video. Drex here from Drex Factor Poi, sharing with you the love of poi spinning and flow arts to benefit your body and brain. And in this video, I'm giving you 5 exercises for developing hand independence to help you out in a variety of different ways. But before we dive in, I just want to give a quick shout out to the friends of the channel. Big thanks to Dark Monk, Fire Mecha, Flow Fests, Flow Toys, Pyroterra Light Toys, and Ultra Poi for helping to make the videos on this channel possible. You can learn more about all of these awesome companies and the work they're doing to support flow artists like yourself by checking out the links down in the description of this video. Okay, so first up, let's clarify. What do we mean by hand independence? Well, when we're performing most poi tricks, like say a butterfly or a thread the needle, or even a 3-beat weave, we're having our hands perform the same action at the same time. But we can change things up a little bit if we wanted to do a transition between the two, and that means that one hand has to perform one action while the other hand is performing a completely different action. It's hard enough to get our two hands to move together, but getting them to move separately on demand, that's a whole challenge in and of itself. But fortunately, I've compiled together several different exercises that target 5 specific ways that you can develop hand independence and make it work with your flow. Starting with Exercise 1, Driving Style Independence. So driving style may sound like Greek, but really it just means that we're talking about the relationship that the hands and poi have together and how much momentum the hands are putting into them. So for example, I can have my poi going around in what we would call extensions or pendulums, or in in-spin flowers, or even in anti-spin flowers. Now, you'll note that throughout each of these different moves, my hands are going around in the exact same way, but the way the poi interact with them is completely different, whether it be acting as extensions of my hands, or avoiding going over my hands entirely, or performing more beats than my hands. This is what we mean by changing up driving styles. And fortunately, I've got an exercise to help you develop independence with your driving styles that doesn't require you to know any more advanced poi moves. It works like this. So basically what I want you to do is I want you to start with one hand spinning the poi outward and the other hand performing a pendulum going back and forth. Now this in and of itself may take a little bit of practice, but think that you want to go ahead and move the poi to one side and then move it to the other side, one side, the other side. Take this slow. There is absolutely no reason that you have to treat this like a race. But eventually you do want to get to the point where you can keep a pretty regular rhythm back and forth between them, where the poi that's spinning around is going to be going down and around at the same time that the pendulum is, and it's going to be going up and over as the pendulum goes back the other way. Got that down so far? Cool. Now reverse, which hand is doing which? So I started off with my right hand spinning the poi outward, and now my left hand is. Again, I am trying to make sure that I line up the timing of these such that I've got the pendulum in my right hand going under as the left hand poi is spinning under as well, and it goes back along to my left hand side as the poi is going over. So you want to get in 10 reps with your left hand spinning around, and then you want to get in 10 reps with your right hand spinning around, switching up which hand is doing which. This will set you up for all sorts of nice things, like being able to perform transitions whenever you want to, switching between timing and direction modes. And even better than that, it'll give you a lot more control over how much energy you're putting into the poi at any given time. And if you'd like the 411 on exactly what driving styles are and how we define them, I did a video on that topic that I'll go ahead and link to up in the cards as well as down in the description. All right, so we've played around a little bit with driving style control. Now we're going to play around a little bit with how we get big and how we get small. Exercise 2, Volume Independence. So when we first start off spinning poi, a lot of the tricks that we learn involve keeping our hands inside of a pretty small space. Whether it be weaves, butterflies, or thread the needles, we're essentially working with our poi in a position where our hands are tucked up right next to us in a position that we like to call T-Rex arms. But it doesn't stay that way for long. We start getting into things like flowers, as well as windmills, and a variety of other tricks that take up a lot of volume. So having the ability to independently control the volume of each hand comes in real handy. And here's how we can develop that. We're going to play around with a poi hybrid. A hybrid is having two different poi driving styles or tricks being performed at the exact same time. In this case, I'm going to have a static spin going in one hand while the other hand performs an extension. That means I'm trying to keep one poi in a very, very small space and the other one is eating up as much room as it possibly can. Now the trick here is that I'm trying to keep the two poi in the same timing and direction going around. That is split time. So I'm going to start this off by having my right hand performing the static spin out as far as it can go to my right, while my left hand performs that full extension and brushes past the right as it's pointing back at me. Now I'm going to switch things up and have the right hand perform the extension while the left hand performs the static spin. Looks pretty cool in and of itself, doesn't it? So to do this exercise, I want you to get in 10 reps with your left hand doing the static spin, and then 10 reps with your right hand performing the static spin. Oh yeah, and also make sure that you're testing this out going both directions, both counterclockwise as well as going around clockwise. We want to make sure that we really get this down in all the different ways that we can perform it, right? And of course, this is going to be really handy for learning other hybrids down the line, like say, taking that same static spin versus extension and performing it as an antihybrid, or performing isolation versus cat-eye. There's actually a lot of poi hybrids out there that are contingent on one hand performing a trick in a smaller space than the other one. So get down that volume control early and make sure that each hand can perform independently there. So with exploring volume comes another type of poi control that we're going to have to learn independence for, and that one is Exercise 3, Levels Independence. So I don't know if you caught this or not, but some of those bigger tricks that we play with that eat up a lot of volume, well, they also involve changing the levels of our hands at different places along the move. So for example, in this flower right here, my hands are not just exploring a big space, they're also going high and low. The same is true if we play around in one of these big windmills called Poitrevian Man. So it can be helpful to make sure that our hands have control over being able to spin the poi any way we want, both high as well as low, and being able to switch back and forth between them. So here's an exercise that'll surely noodle your noggin. Let's start off with that windmill that I keep demonstrating. Notice how both of my hands are going around in a big circle in front of me and exploring a range of movements going from high to low. Well, what if I made it a rule that only one hand could do that at any given time? I could go through a bunch of reps like this, and I can also pause my hand down below and make sure that each hand gets in a few reps at different levels before coming right back into the move and bringing it up high and tight next to my ears. Now let's do that with the other hand. So now the right hand is going to travel around in a big circle while the left stays up next to my ears. By the way, please make sure that you keep your timing and direction consistent in this. And just like with the left hand, we're going to pause it down below, keep that split time same direction going with my right hand down, and then bring it back up and around. So the exercise here is to start up high, choose just one hand to do those level changes with, pause with it on bottom, and then come right back into the move. Then you can switch up which hand is doing which, with one hand doing the big move, and pausing down below, and then coming back up, and then bringing them both up high. Goodness. So this is going to come in real handy if you want to play around with, say, oh, I don't know, some of those hybrids that involve having one hand in a behind the head position while the other one is down below. It'll also come in handy for being able to play around with different hybrids that involve switching back and forth from high to low in different patterns. It's even handy for that hybrid that we played with in the last example, where we switch between static and extension, but you just happen to make those positions top and bottom rather than side to side. There's a lot of applications here. Cool, so we've explored driving style independence, volume independence, levels independence. What else might there be? Exercise 4, beat independence. Okay, so this is an extension of something that I like to call beat control. Namely, beat control is being able to determine how often the poi complete a beat. Rather than just like automatically finding a rhythm that the poi spin in, we can control how often and when we get the poi to complete a beat around our hands. Which also means that we then have to look at being able to control that independently between each hand. How do we go about doing that? I'm so glad you asked. All right, so this one's going to be kind of an odd one, so stick with me through it. I want you to start off by taking your hands and poi around in extensions that are going together same in your counterclockwise direction relative to you. Now, as you do this, I want you to go ahead and add 2 pedals with your right hand poi. So now you have your hands continuing to go around together same, but you're now performing a hybrid. That is, the right hand is doing a 2-pedal in-spin flower and the left hand is doing an extension. So we have added a whole bunch more beats with the right hand while the left hand is continuing to stay just as it is. Switch direction to clockwise, and now add those same beats with the left hand. You want to try and make sure that you have the ability to add and remove beats with each hand independently and be able to keep them moving together. Goodness, get in 10 reps going both counterclockwise as well as clockwise with this exercise, being able to add and subtract beats with each hand. And I hope it doesn't come as any great shock to you then that this sets you up for a variety of what are called polyrhythm hybrids, things like the Mercedes or triquetra versus pendulum. There's a lot of different examples out there, and this helps set you up for it by being able to control independently how many beats each hand does in the course of the move. Fabulous. Now, before I share with you my final hand independence exercise, I do have a quick favor to ask. If you've come this far, I'm pretty sure that means that you have an interest in poi spinning, which is awesome because poi is awesome. And even better, I make lots of videos about poi. So if you'd like to see more of them, make sure you subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you know exactly when I drop a new one. Thank you so much. And now, after we've learned to control all these different things independently, what could possibly be left? Exercise 5, twist independence. All right, so this is admittedly kind of an unconventional thing to seek control over, but I do think that it's pretty important. See, whenever we're playing around with poi weaves, we're essentially working in an environment where we are adding and subtracting degrees of twist. So as I'm performing a weave, I am crossing my arms, and then as I go over to the other side of my body, I'm uncrossing and then recrossing them. So I'm adding and subtracting a degree of twist every time I go back and forth between this weave. And wouldn't you just know it, there's nothing saying that you have to do the same number of degrees of twist on each side. So, what happens when we try to develop independent control of them on each side of our bodies? All right, so this one's going to be a little complicated. Make sure you're paying attention here. I'm going to start off with my poi spinning in split time, same direction in wheel plane here. And I'm going to decide that I'm going to start adding degrees of twist, but only on one side of my body. In this case, on my right. What that's going to mean is I'm going to switch from just having my poi spin on either side to crossing my right hand over my left and then untwisting. Again, right over left, untwist, right over left, untwist, right over left, untwist. Now I'm going to add another degree of twist on my right side, making it feel like I'm doing a 5-beat weave and then untwisting. Again, 2 degrees, untwist, 2 degrees, untwist, 2 degrees, untwist. Let's do the same thing on the left. I'm going to go ahead and twist over once and open, once and open, once and open, and then go 2 degrees, open, 2 degrees, open, 2 degrees, open. Cool. Coming out of this exercise, you are going to have so much control over when you do and do not add a degree of twist in all of your weaves. Make sure that you leave all options open for yourselves here. Sweet! Those are 5 different categories by which you can gain hand independence as you're spinning your poi. I hope this is helpful, not just for getting down more poi tricks, but also getting down some transitions. Please, if you know any other hand independence drills that you're a fan of, leave me a comment and let me know. Thanks so much in advance. This video would not be possible without my amazing supporters on Patreon. In particular, I'd love to give a huge shout out to my Flow patrons who are listed on screen right now. Thank you, you all rock. If you would like to get your name in the credits or access to a whole host of other awesome rewards, you can do that by heading on over to my Patreon at patreon.com/DrexFactorPoi and signing up. There, not only can you get access to all these perks, but also you can help me out in my mission of bringing poi spinning and flow arts to the whole wide world. So go check that out, please and thank you. And if you'd like to check out 5 beginner drills that I have done for learning hand independence, I will go ahead and link to that video up here on screen as well as down in the description. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you got a lot out of it. Please make sure to get out and flow today, and I'll see you with a new one real soon. Take care now. Peace.